Hi everyone. So today we're going to be looking at dropping tables, how to read data from tables, and lastly the commit function. So here we go. Okay, so over here you can see another program. At the top as usual is what we're going to do today. Then the rules and last is the program. So today we're going to be looking at dropping tables, how to read data from tables, and the commit function. So we're going to start with dropping tables. To drop tables, you need to use the drop table statement. So first thing I've done over here is import SQLite 3, then try SQLite connection is equal to SQLite3.connect. So basically I'm connecting. Next I've got cur SQLite connection dot cursor. Then print successfully connected to SQLite. So over here I'm basically connecting to SQLite. Then here I've commented the drop table statement. So first I want to run this program and show you. So right now what I'm getting looks something like this. So successfully connected to SQLite, table created successfully, number 4, and then Lucy present, and then SQLite connection is closed. Now this result might be a little bit confusing to you. So what we're gonna do is first go through the entire program. So after this drop table thing that I've commented over here, I've created my table. Then over here I've said SQL2 is equal to insert into attendance, date, name, math, science, English, music, values. Then I put in the values. Then I've said A equal to CUR, which stands for cursor, or the cursor variable, equal to execute. So basically I'm executing SQL2. And then I'm using the commit function. We're going to look at the commit function a little later. Then I'm doing selecting equal to select star. Star basically means select everything. Don't miss a single thing kind of. Select every single thing from attendance. Then I'm saying cur.execute selecting. So I'm basically executing selecting. Then I said fetching rows. So basically I'm fetching all the rows is equal to cur.fetchAll. So cursor.fetchAll. Then print len fetching rows. Now this len is basically where we're getting this number over here from. So right now it's 5. So as you can see, it's kind of increasing by 1. So when I first ran this, it said 4. But before that, when I ran it, it said 3. So it started with 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5. And you can see that Lucy is written here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So basically I'm getting the len, that's why it's giving 5 over there. Then I said for row in fetching rows, print row. Then over here I've got my except and then my finally. But we're not looking at that right now. Right now we're sticking with the try bit. So you've already seen the result of the program. So now what we're going to do is, so I'm just going to run it one more time for you to see. So here it basically increases by 1. You can see that we have 6 rows right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the entire table attendance. So I'm just going to take this away. Now when I run this, so run tester 5, and you can see it says 1. So when I ran this, it says 1. And this is because I'm dropping the table. So if I rerun this, it's still going to say 1. Because I'm dropping the table, so nothing is happening. So that's why it's staying on 1. Also, Lucy is not meant to be the first one in our table. So I'm going to take Lucy away and change it to Lily. So now Lily is present. So now I'm going to comment this drop attendance bit. So I'm just going to take this bit and okay. Now, okay, I forgot to comment this bit. Okay, so Command X and then Command V. Right. So now I've commented the drop table bit. So basically, the main reason I use drop table is when I need to refresh or reset my table. So for example, if you have a Google document, in that Google document you have a table with 2 columns and 12 rows. Then inside that, if you want to like refresh it, like you're like, I don't know this anymore, I want to refresh it. That's what I use drop table for. Like I just want to refresh it without anything. So basically when I use drop table, there's basically nothing left. It's like an empty Google Doc. There's like no lines, no columns, no rows, nothing. It's like a new Google Doc, kind of. Okay, so here I've created my table, executed, table created successfully. Then I've changed this to Lily. Okay, now I'm gonna run this again. So you can see it's giving me 2. So now I've got Lucy and then Lily. This is meant to be the other way around, but never mind. Now that we have looked at how to drop the tables, we're gonna look at how to read the data from the tables. So basically the main thing in looking at how to read data from tables is the select bit. So in order to read tables, you need to like select the bit of the table. So over here I want to read my entire table, so I've used this star. The star basically stands for reading the entire table. So basically select kind of works as a selecting tool. So like for example, if you say you want to read a paragraph in this book, then to read that paragraph you need to like select it and then you're gonna like read it. So basically in reading, select is the main bit. So you have to select it to be able to read it. So in order to read it, you have to do select. If I take select away, then it's gonna turn into a total disaster. So I'm going to take select away. Now, as you can see, table created successfully, then 0. Now, if I run it again, 0. So basically this has turned into a total disaster because I've not selected anything. So there's basically no rows, nothing. So this is why you need select in reading the data from the table. Now, lastly, we have got commit function. So in your computer, you have something called a disk. A disk is a physical object that's inside your computer. Now, basically, when you commit something, it goes inside the disk and stays there. So, for example, right now I've got PyCharm open and everything. So, PyCharm is basically not saved in the disk. The app may be saved in the disk, but I'm not exactly doing any of this. So, basically, before I write commit over here, then before that, it's like, so before over here I've written commit, so I've written commit over here, but before this, any of this is roaming around in the RAM. So the RAM is basically the gateway between doing something and committing it. So RAM is basically where most of your stuff is stored. So for example, if I open a new tab in Google Chrome, then it's gonna get stored in the RAM because I'm not committing it to my disk. A disk can go bad, and if the disk goes bad, then it's gonna go away permanently. So everything you've done is gonna go away permanently. But in the RAM basically keeps the information there. This is why your computer sometimes gets slow, because too many things are stored in the RAM and then the RAM gets exhausted. So basically when I'm committing, I'm basically saying like writing it down in disk saying that this is meant to be here. You can delete things from the disk, but basically as you use more of the disk, it basically keeps going bad and bad and bad. So basically that's why the RAM was created, to just stay there, so that like even though it gets exhausted, your computer is still running even though it's slow. So the RAM basically like keeps everything in the like before commit. Then when you commit it, it's inside the disk. You can delete it, but it's not a really good idea to delete something you put in a disk already. So basically what I'm doing by saying commit over here is that I'm like saving it. Like all of this code is meant to be there and I don't want to change my mind, kind of. Of course, if I do change my mind, it's okay. But basically the reason we have commit here is that I'm like saving it fully. Like I don't want to change this anymore.